ஆழ்வார் திருடிகளே சரணம், எம்பெருமானார் திருடிகளே சரணம், பிள்ளைலோக்காச்சாரியர் திருடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருடிகளே சரணம். ஸ்ரீசைலேஷ தயாபாத்திரம் தீபக்தியாதி குணார்ணவம் யதீந்திர பிரவணம் வந்தே ரம்ய ஜாமாத்திரம் முனிம் ரம்ய ஜாமாத்ரி யோகீந்திர பாதர் ஏகாமயம் சதா ததாயத்னாத்ம சதாதிம் ராமானுஜமுனிம் பஜே. லக்ஷ்மீநாத சமாரம்பாம் நாதயாவன மத்தியமாம் சதாச்சாரிய பரியந்தாம் வந்தே குரு பரம்பராம். யோ நித்யமच्युतपदाम्बुजे घ्वरुक्म व्यामोहतस्थितितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर् भगवतोऽस्य दैहिकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये. मातापिता योते स्तनया भूति सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य न कुलपतेरुकुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्ग्रीगणं प्रणमामि मूर्ध्ना. भूतं शरश्च महदाह्वय भट्टनाथ श्री भक्तिसार कुलशेखरे योगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्ग्रीगण परकाल यतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्. लोकाचार्याय गुरवे पादस्य सूनवे संसार भोगी संदष्ट जीव जीवातवे नमः. piLLai is one of the most significant and important acharyas in our Sri Vaishnava Sampradayam. He is credited with blessing us with 18 important rahasya granthams. It is said that he has done even more than that, but primarily there are 18 important rahasya granthams which are given by him. Among those, yAdhruchchikappadi is an important rahasya grantham. In this rahasya grantham, the three rahasya principles of our sampradayam, Tirumantram, that is Ashtaksharam, Dvayamaha Mantram, and Charma Shlokam, Krishna Charma Shlokam. All these three are beautifully and briefly explained. These three aspects, that is Tirumantram, Dvayamaha Mantram, Charma Shlokam, they are most important for every Sri Vaishnava to understand and put it into practice. Ashtakshara Mantram is also known as Tirumantram and Moola Mantram. This is Narayana Mantram. Pranavam, Namaha and Narayanaya. These three put together collectively is known as Ashtakshara Mantram. This is explained in Shastram in many places, especially Mahanarayana Upanishad and other places where this Ashtaksharam is greatly emphasized. And even in Mahabharatam and other Shastrams, the greatness of Ashtakshara Mantram is clearly explained. This is the king of mantras, Mantra Raja. That is, it is the most important mantram for an Atma in its spiritual progress. If an Atma has to progress spiritually, that Atma has to know this Ashtaksharam along with its meanings. That is how significant it is. And along with this Ashtakshara Mahamantra, Dvaya Mahamantra and Charma Shloka are also greatly emphasized in our Sampradayam. These three are collectively called as Rahasya Trayam. That is Ashtakshara Mahamantra, Dvaya Mahamantra and Charma Shlokam. All these put together are known as Rahasya Trayam. And these are taught as part of our Panchasamskaram. That is, when we get a sambandham, connection with an Acharya, where we surrender to Bhagavan through that Acharya, at that time the Acharya performs Panchasamskaram. During that Panchasamskaram, 5 aspects, 5 routines are performed by the Acharya to the Shishya. Tapa, Pundra, Nama, Mantra, Yaga. These are the 5 activities which are done at that time. Tapa means imprinting Shankha and Chakra on our shoulders. Usually there will be a metal mold of Shankha and Chakra which represents Bhagavan's divine weapons, and primary identity of Bhagavan Sriman Narayana is Shankha and Chakra, and that those symbols are imprinted on our shoulders by hitting the Shankha and Chakra and placing them on our shoulders. That is done by Acharya first. After that, Pundra, we are wearing Thiruman Sri Churnam on 12 places on our body. That is first given by the Acharya. This Dwadasha Urdhva Pundra are first given by the Acharya to the Shishya. And then Nama, we get a Dasya Nama, Adiyan Ramanuja Dasan, we all say that. Which means I am a servitor of Bhagavad Ramanuja. Through that, I am a servitor of Bhagavan and Alvars and Acharyas and Bhagavatas. So all of that are encapsulated in that one statement, Adiyan Ramanuja Dasan. And then we also get a name along with it. So in my case, I will say Adiyan Sarathi Ramanuja Dasa. So that is my Dasya Nama. I get that from the Acharya. The Acharya gives that name. And then there is mantra. Here, the three mantras, Ashtakshara mantra, Dvaya Maha mantra, and Charma Shloka. All these three are given by the Acharya to the Shishya. First, the mantram itself is given as Upadesham. That is part of the Panchasamskaram. And then finally, Yaga. Yaga means performing Tiruvaradhanam to Bhagavan, pleasing Bhagavan through the Tiruvaradhanam. That is taught by the Acharya to the Shishya. So these are the 5 activities which happen during Panchasamskaram. And one of the important activity is learning these Rahasya mantrams from the Acharya. And not just the Shabdam, not just the mantras, but also their meanings have to be learned from the Acharya. In some cases, the one who performs Panchasamskaram will give the meaning of the meaning of the mantras also, meaning of the Rahasya Trayam also. In some cases, that Acharya may not give. At least the basic instructions, basic meanings should be given by the Acharya, but the detailed meanings can be learnt from Jnanacharya, those who teach the meanings in an elaborate way. From such persons, from such Acharyas, we can learn those meanings. In our Sampradayam, there is more emphasis on the remembrance of the meaning of the mantras, more than chanting the mantras themselves. We don't emphasize on the japam of the mantras, but the meaning of the mantras are more significant and more important for us, because only when we understand the meanings of the mantras, we can live according to that. So it is very important for us to understand the meanings of the mantras, and those meanings are given in these granthams by piLLai lOkAchAryar in a very clear manner. And yAdhruchchikappadi is one of those granthams which briefly explain about Tirumantram, Dvaya Mahamantram and Charma Shlokam. This Tirumantram was given by Narayana Rishi to Nara Rishi. Both of them are incarnations of Bhagavan Sriman Narayana, and both of them were living in Badrikashramam. And there Narayana Rishi gave this Ashtakshara mantram to Nara Rishi. It is an eternal mantram, still it was revealed by Narayana Rishi to Nara Rishi. Dvaya Mahamantram was instructed by Sri Mahalakshmi by Bhagavan Sriman Narayana to Sri Mahalakshmi in Vishnu Lokam. That means it can be said to be Paramapadam. So in Paramapadam itself, Dvaya Mahamantram is given as instruction to Sri Mahalakshmi by Sriman Narayana. And then Charma Shlokam is part of Mahabharatam, especially Sri Bhagavad Gita. Krishna instructs Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tva Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Ma Shuchaha. He gives that instruction to Arjuna. So these three are the Rahasya Trayam, the three esoteric principles, Rahasya principles. And we have to understand the meanings for these Rahasya Trayam. And that is given in this yAdhruchchikappadi by piLLai lOkAchAryar in a very brief manner. piLLai lOkAchAryar has given many granthams for explaining Rahasya Trayam. That is, Mukshupadi is most common, most famous. And then there is Parandapadi, Shriyapati, yAdhruchchikappadi, and then each one, that is Tirumantram, Dvayamahamantram, Charamashlokam. They are explained in separate granthams. Tani Pranavam, Tani Dvayam, Tani Charamam. In this manner, there are many granthams which explain the meanings of Rahasya Trayam. But this yAdhruchchikappadi is a very simple and a beautiful one. Let us now understand this grantham. The name of the grantham is based on the starting line of the grantham. In some cases, we see that even in Divya Prabandhams, Amalnadi Piran is based on the starting phrase of the Prabandham. But many Prabandhams, it is not like that. Similarly, even in the many granthams given by piLLai lOkAchAryar, in this grantham, the name of the grantham is based on the first phrase of the grantham. That is, yAdhruchchika Bhagavat Kataksham. That is the beginning of this grantham in Tirumantra Prakaranam. There, yAdhruchchika is there. So, based on that yAdhruchchika, this grantham is also known as yAdhruchchikappadi. Padi means, we can say here, it is concept or principle. So, here yAdhruchchikappadi means that which is gotten by the divine grace of Bhagavan. Unconditional grace of Bhagavan. We get all these Bhagavat Sambandham, the connection with Bhagavan, connection with Acharya. Everything happens because of Bhagavan's mercy, which fructified on us. That is why we get this connection. So, that is the commencement of the Grantham itself. Let us first see the structure of the Grantham and then we will go into the Grantham. The Grantham has three sections: Tirumantra Prakaranam, Dvaya Prakaranam, Charamashloka Prakaranam. The sequence is slightly different. Tirumantra Prakaranam is first, Charamashloka Prakaranam is second, Dvaya Prakaranam is third. In some Granthams, piLLai lOkAchAryar first explained Tirumantram and then Dvaya Mahamantram and then Charamashloka. In some other Granthams, he has explained Tirumantram, Charamashloka and Dvaya Mahamantram. Tirumantram is always first because it is Moola Mantram. But next can be Dvaya Mahamantram or Charamashloka. Depends on the nature of the Grantham and depends on how piLLai lOkAchAryar has blessed us. There are two concepts explained. One is Mantra, Vidhi, Anusandhana connection. That is, Moola Mantram is the Mantram. Charamashloka is Vidhi. Bhagavan is ordering us that you give up all the upayams. You accept me as the upayam. I will remove all your sins. You don't worry. Here there are three orders. Give up all other upayams, accept me as the upayam, and then don't worry. All three are vidhi. All three are orders in Charamashloka. So, first is mantra and then order, and then we have to implement that. How do we implement that? By constantly reciting doing the japam of Dvaya Mahamantram. And when we do japam of Dvaya Mahamantram, we have to do it with Guru Parampara Mantram. That is how we have to do it. Japtavyam Guru Paramparayam Dvayamam. So, Anusandhanam, for us to always meditate upon the Dvaya Mahamantram is there along with the Guru Parampara. It is said that if we pursue just Dvaya Mahamantram without Guru Parampara, it is like worshipping other devatas. Whenever we go to Bhagavan and Sri Mahalakshmi Tayar, we have to go through Acharyas only. So that is why Japtavyam Guru Paramparayam Dvayamam is emphasized. We have to always do Japam of Guru Guru Parampara Mantram, that is Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, up to Sridharaya Namaha, and then Dvaya Mahamantram. This is how we have to do Japam. And when we have to do Japam, every time our mind becomes free, we have to do Japam. There is no count, there is no beads, nothing. We just have to do Japam in the mind with the meditation on meanings of the mantra. We cannot just do rote Japam, that is without any thinking or without any contemplation, we cannot do the Japam. We have to think the meanings of the mantra while chanting the mantra. So that is emphasized in our sampradayam. That is the implementation part. So mantra, vidhi, anusandhanam. Mantra is Tirumantram, vidhi is Charma Shlokam, and anusandhanam is Dvaya Mahamantram. This is one sequence. That is how this grantham is done. Tirumantram, Charma Shlokam, and Dvaya Mahamantram. But in other places, we see that Tirumantram, Dvaya Mahamantram, and Charma Shlokam. That is because it is explained as Vivarana Vivarani Bhavam. There is a connection between Tirumantram, Dvaya Mahamantram, and Charma Shlokam with respect to Tirumantram being the source. And even there, Pranavam is the source. Pranavam is explained in Namaha Narayanaya. And this Namaha speaks about Upayam. That is explained in Dvaya Mahamantram in detail. Upayam and Upayam. That is, Namaha is Upayam, Narayanaya is Upayam. Namaha is means. Bhagavan is the only means. Narayanaya means serving Bhagavan is the goal. These two are explained in Dvaya Mahamantram in the two lines. In the first line, it is explained that we have to hold Purusha, Sri Mahalakshmi as the Purushakaram, as the recommendation person, and surrender unto Bhagavan's lotus feet, considering his lotus feet to be the Upayam. And then we have to serve Bhagavan and Pirati together. That is the goal. So Upayam and Upayam are elaborated in Dvaya Mahamantram. And subsequently, Charma Shlokam elaborates it further. That is, when we are pursuing Bhagavan as the Upayam, we have to give up all other Upayams. That is shown in Sarvadharman Parityajya. And then similarly, when we want to enjoy Bhagavan and when we want to serve Bhagavan, our hurdles have to be eliminated. Bhagavan says, Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami. I will eliminate all your hurdles. So sins are the cause for the hurdles. So because Bhagavan is saying that all the hurdles will be eliminated by me, then we can do Kainkaryam. So Upayam is elaborated in Dvaya Mahamantram, which is further elaborated in Charma Shlokam. So whenever the sequence is Tirumantram, Dvayam, Charma Shlokam, at that time we can consider that this is the intent. We have to understand the Vivarana Vivarani Bhavam. And when Tirumantram, Charma Shlokam, Dvaya Mahamantram sequence is seen, at that time we have to see Mantra Vidhi Anusandhanam. So this is the reason for this sequence. That is also briefly explained. Now let us move into the Grantham quickly. It's a very beautiful Grantham which talks about Tirumantram, Dvaya Mahamantram, Charma Shlokam. We'll see it briefly, very brief Grantham only. First, piLLai says, for a person who got blessed by unconditional grace of Bhagavan, for such person, Abhimukyam will occur in that person. Abhimukyam means being favorable towards Bhagavan, showing intent to serve Bhagavan. That is Abhimukyam, being favorable. That will happen. So the first step is Bhagavan's merciful glance at a Jivatma, thinking that this Jivatma has to be uplifted. Based on that thought process, the Atma, if that Atma is fortunate, if that Atma understands the intent of Bhagavan, that Atma will accept that intent. Because since time immemorial, there is no beginning in this samsara. Without any beginning, Bhagavan has been trying to help all Atmas out of his unconditional grace. Even though the Atmas are not doing any good deeds, Bhagavan is still trying to uplift them because he wants everyone to come and serve in Vaikuntham. Not that everyone will come, because samsara is also eternal. There will be some people always in this samsara. But everyone has an opportunity. Anybody can be liberated and anybody can go to Vaikuntham. So that is the desire of Bhagavan, that we should give opportunity for everyone to reach reach me. So that is the intent of Bhagavan. Those who understand that intent, because it is explained in Purvacharya Granthams, at some point this Atma will think, why am I here? What am I doing here? That spark may come anytime. And that comes because of Bhagavan's efforts, constant efforts. He keeps trying by being the indwelling super soul, Antaryami. He keeps trying to guide the Atma towards good deeds. So at some point, that effort of Bhagavan will materialize when the Atma accepts that. When he accepts that, the next step is Sadacharya Samashayanam. One then gets connected to a Sadacharya, true Acharya. Who is a true Acharya? Why piLLai is saying Sadacharya? Because the Sadacharya is always thinking about making every Atma to be a Mangala Shasana Para, one who wishes well-being of Bhagavan. Because that is the true nature of a Jivatma. The Atma has to always perform Mangala Shasana to Bhagavan. Because being a servitor, Atma has to bring glories to Bhagavan. So that is the goal. So a true Acharya will only engage in creating Mangala Shasana Paras. He will pick up any Atma. He will reform that Atma. Even though that Atma has no specific purpose, no specific help for the Acharya, even though that Atma may not be well qualified, still the Acharya will try to reform that Atma and make that Atma always engaged in performing Kainkaryam and Mangala Shasanam to Bhagavan. So, the one who has taken shelter of a Sadacharya, for such a Mumukshu is liberation seeker, one who seeks liberation through Bhagavan, not individual. Mumukshu means liberation seeker, and we are also Prapannas. That means we are surrendering to Bhagavan and approaching Bhagavan through him only, with his efforts, with his grace only. So, Mumukshutvam and Prapannatvam both are required for a Sri Vaishnava. A Sri Vaishnava has to be both Mumukshu and Prapanna. We cannot pursue other means to attain Bhagavan, to be liberated, and we cannot pursue Bhagavan and pray for some other benefits. Both cannot be done. We have to pray to Bhagavan only, we have to pray for eternal Kainkaryam only. That is what Mumukshu and Prapanna means. So, being a Mumukshu, for such person who has taken shelter of a Sadacharya, for him, the Rahasya Trayam, all the three Rahasyam, they have to be meditated upon constantly. That is the starting statement. lOkAchAryar is very, very clear, very crisp in saying what is the aspect to be always meditated upon by a Mumukshu. One should always meditate upon Rahasya Trayam. In that Rahasya Trayam, the primary one, the first one is Tirumantram. Why is that? Because it is explaining the true nature of the Jivatma very clearly. That is Pranavam, Namaha and Narayanaya are the three portions of Tirumantram. In that Pranavam itself, Jivatma is eternal servitor of Paramatma, Bhagavan, is very clearly explained, and subsequently it is elaborated in Namaha and Narayanaya. Because this true nature of the Jivatma is clearly explained in a crisp manner in this Tirumantram, it is to be always meditated upon by a Jivatma who is seeking eternal Kainkaryam, who is seeking eternal Kainkaryam through moksha. See, in our Sampradaya, moksha means it leads to eternal Kainkaryam only. Liberation means we reach Paramapadam and then we keep serving Bhagavan. It is not that we become equal to Bhagavan, we just sit across Bhagavan and enjoy. It's not like that. We keep serving there. Constant eternal service will be done by the Jivatma after reaching Paramapadam. So, that eternal Kainkaryam is the ultimate goal for the Jivatma, matching his true nature, which is Sheshatma, servitorship, being a servitor. And because of all of this, this Tirumantram has to be recited first. And this Tirumantram, it is explaining the Swarupam, the true nature of Jivatma, that is Sheshatvam, and of course Paratantriyam. Sheshatvam means being a servitor. Paratantriyam means being obedient. Whatever the master says, we have to completely obey. That is what Paratantriya means. We cannot say, I am a Sheshabhuta, I am a Paratantra, but do whatever we want. I want to enjoy Perumal, I want to enjoy worldly things. If we keep saying, I want, then that means we are not Sheshabhuta and we are not Paratantra. So both of these are our Swarupam. And what is the Purushartham? Purushartham means the goal. What is the goal? The goal is that which matches the Swarupam. So for a person who is having Sheshatvam and Paratantriyam, the goal is eternal Kainkariya. One has to eternally engage in service. That is the goal, and that can happen only in Paramapadam, eternal Kainkariya. We can do occasional Kainkariya in this world, in this samsara. Some people may do every day 10 hours of Kainkariya. Some people may do 12 hours of Kainkariya. Some people may do 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour. But nobody can do 24 hours, 360 days. Nobody can do Kainkariya because this world is supposed to be like that. There are always hurdles. Even if one is very dedicated, at the night time, one naturally gets sleep, so one cannot do Kainkariya at that time. So there is break in Kainkariya here. Our Acharyas have shown that we have to desire for unbreakable, that is continuous Kainkariya. And that can be possible only in Paramapadam. So there it is Paramapurushartham, eternal service is highlighted, and that is all explained in this Tirumantram. So that is the first portion of this Grantham. And then now for that ultimate goal, what is the perfect upayam, perfect sadhanam? That is explained in Charma Shlokam. That is why this Charma Shlokam is explained next to Tirumantram. Because Tirumantram is the one which identifies what is the ultimate goal and what is the ultimate means to attain that goal. That is explained in Charma Shlokam. And third is Dvaya Mahamantram. How to accept Bhagavan as Upayam and how to serve Bhagavan along with Sri Mahalakshmi. That is explained in Dvaya Mahamantram. Hence, that is explained third in this Grantham. So, this is the brief introduction for the Grantham. What is the constituents of the Grantham? That is explained here. Now, moving on to the actual content. First, Tirumantram is explained. Tirumantram is having 8 syllables, 8 divine syllables. So, A, Gu, Ma, Na, Maha, Na, Ra, Ya, Na, Ya. So, these are the 8 syllables. In that, A, U, Ma, which makes Pranavam, this Pranavam is together 1 syllable. In Samhitakaram, it is 1 syllable. In Asamhitakaram, that is when we split it, it is 3 syllables. But for the mantram on a whole, it is 1 syllable. Namaha has 2 syllables. And then Narayanaya has 5 syllables. That is why it is 8 lettered, 8 syllables word. That is why it is known as Ashtaksharam. In that, first padam, that is first word is Pranavam. This Pranavam itself will be in 3 parts. And each part can be said as a word because they are only letters. A, U, Ma are letters only, but they have meaning. Because they have meaning, they can be said as words. In that, the first word of Pranavam, that is Akaram, Akaram says Bhagavan is the protector, Rakshaka. Because Avarakshane is the Dhatu for Akaram. In Sanskritam, there are etymology words. Each word comes from particular etymology. Here, Akaram means Avarakshane, that is to protect. So here, Bhagavan is the protector. That is the first aspect which is shown. So at all times, at all places, at all times, in all situations, in all ways, all the Atmas are protected by Bhagavan, Sarveshwara. Now, Akaram also has Aya. Aya is hidden there. That Aya is the verb which says that Jivatma is for Paramatma. So, that for Paramatma is important and that is hidden. Aya is not visible, but it is hidden there. So, this Akaram says that all the Atmas are subservient to Bhagavan. He is protected, every Atma is protected by Bhagavan, so they are all subservient to Bhagavan. Second portion, second part of the Pranavam is Ukaram. Ukaram explains that this Jivatma is not a Sheshabhuta for anyone else. He is not a servitor of anyone else. Ukaram is emphasis, exclusive. That is, Bhagavan only is the Sheshi, leader, master of Jivatma. Jivatma is not a servant of anyone else. That is emphasized in Ukaram. And then third word in Pranavam is Makaram. This Makaram is 25th letter in the Sanskrita letters. This 25th letter is matching 25th Tattvam. There are 26 Tattvams, elements. That is 24 Achit. Mula Prakriti, Ahankaram, Mama, Mahan, and then Panchabhuta, Pancha Tanmatra, and then Karmendriyam, Pancha Karmendriyam, Pancha Jnanendriyam, mind. All of these put together, 24 elements are Achit, that is non-sentient, which has no knowledge. And then there is 25th element, which is Atma, which is knowledgeable, sentient being. Because this 25 and 25 are matching, that is 25th letter and 25th Tattvam, they are matching. Atma is said to be indicated by Makaram. And then 26th Tattvam is Bhagavan. So 26 Tattvams are explained in our Sampradaya. So this Atma is having knowledge. That is the difference between Atma and Achit. Achit means no knowledge. Atma means full knowledge. So this Atma is the abode of subservience to Bhagavan, obedience to Bhagavan, all of that. And Atma is different from body. So all of these are explained in Pranavam. Again, this is very brief explanation. Everyone should go through mumukshupadi. We have already given mumukshupadi lecture, detailed lecture in our YouTube channel. So anybody can go and listen to that. But this is only a basic introduction. And mumukshupadi is compulsory for everyone to learn step by step. It is a very important grantham. So anyone can go and listen to that from our channel. So next word is Namaha. So first we have seen Pranavam, and then now we are seeing Namaha. In this Namaha, again there are two words, Na, Maha. Maha means for me, Na means negation, not for me. So here when we say I am not for me, it means I am totally dependent on Bhagavan. He is my refuge, he is my means. That Upayam portion is emphasized in this Namaha. So here it is said that I cannot take care of my own upliftment. I cannot take care of my own liberation. I have to depend on Bhagavan. So that is the Namaha. And Narayanaya, that is the third word. It is explaining that Narayanaya explains that this Jivatma must be serving Narayana, who is Sarvaseshi, who is the leader of, Lord of all. That prayer is explained in Narayanaya. So here Narayanaya means one who is the abode of all Nara. Nara means the collection of all entities, Atmas, insentient, everything. That is Nara. And Bhagavan is the abode of all that elements, all that entities. And then there is also another meaning. That is, Bhagavan is present in all of these elements, all of these entities. So Bhagavan is the abode. That is also explained. And Bhagavan is present as Antaryami in all the entities. Both of these are accepted. Those two are the meanings for the word Narayana. And then here it is explained by piLLai that the Bhagavan's Divyatma Swarupam, Bhagavan also has Swarupam and Rupam. Just like Atma, I am an Atma, I have this body. Bhagavan also has Atma. That is, Bhagavan is the Paramatma and he has divine forms, divine bodies. So here, the Bhagavan's Swarupam is that which sustains everything. Everything other than Bhagavan. That is, Atmas, Achit in Paramapadam, Achit in Samsaram. Everything is held by Bhagavan's Swarupam. That is explained here. And also, the another explanation for Narayana, that is, Bhagavan is present as Antaryami in everything. So Bhagavan is the abode for everything and Bhagavan is present as the Antaryami of everything. So with these two, Bhagavan's supremacy and simplicity both are explained. By being the abode of everything, he is supreme, and by being the simple person, he is present in every Atma, every entity as Antaryami. So both of these qualities, supremacy and simplicity, both are explained in this Narayana. And then in this also there is Aya. Aya means praying for Kankaryam. That is Sarvadesha, Sarvakala, Sarvavastha, Sarva Prakara Kankaryam should be accepted by Bhagavan. But is Bhagavan should accept my Kankaryam in every place, in every time, in every situation, in every way. He should accept all my Kankaryams. That is the prayer which is submitted in the Narayanaya. So this is the Tirumantra's explanation. That is, Bhagavan who is Sarva Rakshaka, Sarveshwara, for him being Ananyarha Sheshabhuta, that is, one who is completely accessible, complete servitor for Bhagavan only. Being in that way, I should not be there for my own sake. I should not try anything for my own sake. I should engage in Narayana Nitya Kankaryam, eternal Kankaryam for Sarvasheshi Ana Narayana. That is, Narayana who is the Supreme Lord, who is the Lord of everyone. That is the simple meaning of Tirumantra. So that is explained in the Tirumantra Prakaranam. Next is Charmashloka Prakaranam. Everything is very brief only. Charmashlokam is Gita Charmashlokam. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. In that, this shlokam, 18th chapter, 66th shlokam, Sarvadharman Paritijyam, Mamekam Sharanam Praja, Amtva Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Maschaha. That is a very important shlokam in our Sampradayam, where it is said that Bhagavan is ordering all the Atmas to give up individual effort and surrender unto Bhagavan, and Bhagavan will eliminate the hurdles for that Atma to progress. That is the simple purport of the Charma Shlokam. So, Sarvadharman, first it is explained here, Karma, Jnana, Bhakti, and all of these are instructed to Arjuna by Krishna. But Arjuna becomes very sad because these are very difficult to perform and they are not matching for the Jivatma who is a servitor. A servitor should depend on the master, not try on one's own to acquire something. So because of all of these reasons, he became very sad. At that time, Bhagavan is saying, give up all the Upadeshams, all the instructions I gave until now. Don't take any of those Upadeshams. Rather, you accept me as the Upayam. Now one may think, why is Krishna saying, don't think about all the Upayams which I explained previously? That is because they are not matching for a Prapanna. One who wants to do Prapatti, one should be totally dependent on Bhagavan only. So when Arjuna became sad, at that time Bhagavan says, I will eliminate all your hurdles. You don't suffer. You don't worry. I will eliminate your suffering, says Bhagavan. Sarvadharman. Now he is explaining it briefly. All dharma. Dharma means pala sadhanam. That is the means which will attain the goal. That is what is dharma. Now, when he says sarva dharman, that means all upayams. Whatever upayam may be explained in Shastram. This is why often we hear this question. Oh, many times in Shastram, it is said that Nama Sankirtanam is the upayam in Kali Yugam. So one should pursue Nama Sankirtanam. That is a standard question which comes. But we have very strict instruction from Bhagavan himself that we should not pursue any other upayam, but only pursue Bhagavan as the upayam. So that is what is explained in Sarvadharman. So all the upayams collectively put together, and then Parityajya, they should be given up completely with along with the traces, Ruchi, Vasana, everything should be gone. And then Mom. So now Krishna is touching his heart and tells, Mom, me, you have to surrender unto me, I am totally dedicated for you. I am totally helping you. So you have to surrender unto me totally, says Bhagavan. Ekam. Ekam means only me. You should not think that your surrender is also an upayam. You should only think me as the upayam. Because sometimes people will come all the way up to surrender, and then they'll think my surrender is the means to attain Bhagavan. But that is also not correct. Bhagavan is the upayam. Our surrender is just a manifestation of this Jivatma's quality as a servitor. I am not capable of doing anything. So I am surrendering unto you. That surrender is not the upayam. It is just the adhikari visheshanam. That is the nature of the Jivatma. So that is Ekam means emphasizing that Bhagavan is the only upayam. Sharanam as upayam. Vraja, you should be faithful. You should accept. Aham, I am who am having all the abilities. Whatever I want, I can do for you. Sarva Shakti. And Tva, you who have no other means, you have abandoned all the other upayams, all the other means. I, for you, sarva papebhyaha, whatever hurdles which are stopping you from attaining me, from all of those hurdles, mokshayishyami, I will free you from all of those sufferings. Mashuchaha, you don't worry, says Krishna in this Charama Shlokam. So this is also considered as a very important rahasya principle for us. So the brief meaning is explained here. Now there is a brief summary again. Hence, one should give up all the upayams along with their ancillary aspects, along with the traces. One should give up all of that. One should pursue me, who am having vatsalyam, and then swamitvam, saushilyam, saulabhyam, all of these auspicious qualities. I am having all of those qualities. You have to accept me as the means. You have to accept me who is having all these auspicious qualities as the means. And then I who have all these auspicious qualities such as being Sarva Shakti, all of these qualities will eliminate all the hurdles of you who are holding on to me, who are surrendered unto me. And I will get you liberated. You don't worry, says Krishna, eliminating the shokam, that is worries, sorrows of Arjuna. So that is Charmashloka Prakaranam. Finally, Dvaya Prakaranam. Dvaya Prakaranam is explained a little bit elaborately, but it's very easy to understand, very simple. This Dvaya Mahamantram, is said to be Dvayam because it has two statements. That is, first statement is saying that hold on to Sri Mahalakshmi as the Purushagaram and surrender unto Bhagavan. Second statement is saying that you can serve Bhagavan and Sri Mahalakshmi if you desire for that. So you pray for that. That is the Kainkaryam, Upayam. So both of these are explained. Hence, that mantram is known as Dvaya Mahamantram. Now, Dvaya Mahamantram is talking about Upaya Parigraham and Upaya Prarthana. That is, Upaya Parigraham means accepting Bhagavan as the Upayam, as the means, and Upaya Prarthana means praying for the goal, eternal Kainkaryam. So these two aspects are revealed in Dvaya Mahamantram. Because it is showing two different principles, it is having two different sentences, and because it is having two different sentences, it is known as Dvayam. That is the divine name for this mantram, Dvaya Mahamantram. It is known as Mantra Ratnam. Usually we see that Ashtaksharam is explained as Mantra Raja, but Dvayam is explained as Mantra Ratnam. Usually king will desire for that Ratnam, not the vice versa. Similarly, this Mantra Ratnam is greater than Mantra Raja. Dvaya Mahamantra is greater than Tirumantram, Ashtaksharam. So, that is explained here. First, the structure of Dvaya Mahamantram is explained. This Dvayam has totally 6 phrases, 6 words. That is, in the Purvavakyam, there are 3 words or 3 phrases. And then in the Uttaravakyam, in the second phase, second portion, there are 3 phrases or 3 words. So totally there are 6 words or 6 phrases in Dvaya Mahamantram. In that, in the first padam, that is in the first line, first padam, that is Sriman Narayana Charano. That Sriman Narayana, in that the Periya Piratiyars, that is Sri Mahalakshmi's Purushakara Bhavam, that is she is the one who recommended us to Bhagavan to accept. And that Purushakara Bhavam, and then Ishvara, Bhagavan's Vatsalya, etc. qualities. Vatsalya, Swamitva, Saushilya, Saulabhyam. All these 4 qualities. And then Divya Mangala Vigraham, Sriman Narayana Charano. Charano is divine feet. Divine feet will be naturally attached to divine form. So, when we say divine feet, that means it is emphasizing on the divine form of Bhagavan. That is first phrase, first word, Sriman Narayana Charanau. In this, little bit elaboration is given. Shri Shabdam, that is Shri, indicates Shriyate and Shrayate. Both are 2 different ways of understanding the meaning for this Shri. That is, Periya Piratiyar is known as Shri. That is her first name. Shri is her first name. Why is she having such name? That is because she is always speaking to Bhagavan and she is always approaching Bhagavan. Because of her being the Dharma Patni of Bhagavan, having that role of being Dharma Patni of Bhagavan, being the wife of Bhagavan, she has that easy approachability towards Bhagavan, easy access towards Bhagavan, and she is also very surrendered to Bhagavan on one side. On the other side, she is very compassionate. She is like the mother for all the Atmas. So, she is also recommending Atmas. So, these 2 aspects are there in Sri Mahalakshmi. That is why this Shrihi, that Shri is emphasizing Sri Mahalakshmi. And then Matupu, Man is there. Sriman Narayana is there. No? There, she is always together. That Nitya Yogam, that is being together with Bhagavan, is explained in Matupu. Now, being close to Bhagavan, being able to easily access Bhagavan is in one side. On the other side, being easily approachable by Jivatmas, Chetanas, being compassionate towards Chetanas. That is like a mother, she is present. So, she is able to receive information from Chetanas, Jivatmas, and she is able to give that information to Bhagavan. So, she can be a good Vaya medium. That Vaya medium is Purushakaram. That is what is said as Purushakaram. And all the Acharyas are following the footsteps of Sri Mahalakshmi in recommending the Jivatmas to Bhagavan through the Parampara. So, Shri has this dual role, being able to access Bhagavan and being accessible for Jivatmas and connecting both of them. That is her responsibility. And for that, she has to be always there with Bhagavan. For that itself, that Matupu is there. Sriman Narayana means Pirati is always with Narayana. Now, Narayana Shabdam explains important qualities. Narayana means one who is having auspicious qualities. In Tirumantram, when we see Narayana, there we give different meaning. Narayana means one who is the abode of all Atmas, and Narayana also means one who is present in all Atmas and all insentient also. But here it's a different context. Here, Narayana means one who has auspicious qualities. Vatsalyam. Vatsalyam means motherly forbearance. Whatever faults we commit, he ignores them. He accepts them. He doesn't find fault in us. And then Swamitvam. Swamitvam means being the Lord, being the protector, being the Sheshi, being the Lord. And then Saushilyam, being easily mingling with everyone, easily mixing with everyone without any difference, without any pride. So that concept is Saushilyam. And then finally Saulabhyam, being able to easily approachable, being able to surrender unto directly. So these four qualities are explained in Narayana Shabdam, and these qualities make Bhagavan even argue with Sri Mahalakshmi. Let's say one person surrenders to Bhagavan through Mahalakshmi, and Bhagavan accepts that Jivatma based on Mahalakshmi's recommendation. And then suddenly Mahalakshmi wants to check whether Bhagavan is going to really protect him. So she will go and say that this person is very bad. I mistakenly brought him here. I should not have done it. So please don't bless him anymore. If she says that, then Bhagavan will say, don't say like that. He is our well-wisher. He is always looking for Kankaryam. He is a good person. Even if he says something bad, he will be saying it for our well-being only. Ennadiyar Adhiseyyar Seidarial Nandu Seidar. This is in Periyalvar Tirumozhi. Periyalvar is saying that Kannadiyal Tirattagathu Thamarayal Agilum Sidagureikku Mel. When even Sri Mahalakshmi is blaming some Atma, Bhagavan, who has accepted that Atma, he will not accept that. He will not accept that complaint. Rather, he will tell Sri Mahalakshmi that don't blame him like that. He will not do such activities. That is how she will protect the Atma. So here, that nature of Sri Mahalakshmi is very important, and Bhagavan, who is having these four qualities, that is Vatsalyam, Swamitvam, Saushilyam and Saulabhyam, these four qualities, they are subdued. It is Mahalakshmi who comes and brings them up, because when Bhagavan is sometimes angry with a Jivatma for all the mistakes the Jivatma has committed, Mahalakshmi says, look, he has come to surrender unto you. He has not come to do more mistakes. So you have to accept him. You have to accept his surrender. Now you cannot see any of his mistakes and you have to accept him. At that time, these four qualities rise up and may help Bhagavan accept that Jivatma who is recommended by Bhagavan. So that is Narayana. And then Charanau. Charana means foot, divine foot. And then Charanau means two divine feet. That is Bhagavan's two divine feet. Sriman Narayana Charanau. So here Bhagavan's lotus feet are shown. They are Sharanam. They are Upayam. Bhagavan's lotus feet are the Upayam for us. Nothing else is Upayam. Not our efforts, not our deeds, not our past karma, punya. All of these are not going to help us. It is only Bhagavan's lotus feet which is the Upayam. So that is emphasized in Sharanam. And then Prapadye. Here, this Prapadye is very important because I have to accept that Bhagavan's lotus feet is my Upayam. Unless I accept that, Bhagavan cannot act on that. So if Bhagavan has to accept us, we have to accept that Bhagavan is the Bhagavan's lotus feet are the only Upayam for us. So the Prapadye is our pursuit of that Upayam. So, and again, this Prapadye is also Manasa Adhyavasayam. That is, it is not just falling at Bhagavan's feet and say, I surrender. If we don't have that surrender in our heart, it is not going to benefit. So, surrender through heart is the most important aspect. That is what is explained by Prapadye. And then Srimate Narayanaya Namaha, final section, where Bhagavan is present along with Sri Mahalakshmi. And here it is emphasized that Kankarya Pratisambandhi, that is, the recipient of our Kankaryam, our service, is not an individual person, but together it is the couple, Sri Mahalakshmi and Sriman Narayana. So that is Srimate Narayana. That is explained here. And then Narayanaya again here also emphasizing on the qualities of Bhagavan. But here the important quality is Sarva Sheshi. That is only a Sheshi can accept Kainkaryam from Bhagavan. Just because one has Vatsalyam, he cannot accept Kainkaryam. But if one is a master, one is the leader, then he can accept Kainkaryam. So that is explained here as the um, Mithunam. Bhagavan being, Sarva Sheshi, that is Narayanaya. Bhagavan being the one who is the ultimate master for everyone. Because of that factor only, we are aptly going and desiring to serve him. And then here in this Chaturthi is there, Aya. Aya explains that we should be serving Bhagavan and Pirati together. Aya is the one which is saying service is our ultimate motto. Because Srimate Narayana, that is Pirati and Bhagavan are together. What should we do to them? Aya. Aya means Kainkaryam, performing Kainkaryam. That is what we want to do to them. So that is the prayer again in this Chaturthi Aya. And finally, Namaha is there. Namaha, Srimate Narayanaya Namaha. That means when we do Kainkaryam, it should not be for a mixed happiness. That is, Bhagavan also getting happy, I am also getting happy. That is not the goal. And I only want to get happy. That is also not the goal. But what is the goal here? This Kainkaryam should be for exclusively Bhagavan's happiness. So any thought of self-enjoyment in that Kainkaryam should not be there. It should be eliminated. So that is being prayed in this Namaha. That the Kainkarya Virodhi should be, that is, hurdles for Kainkaryam should be eliminated, and that is what is said in Namaha. So here, Kainkarya Virodhi means what is that? That is Bhoktirtva Pratipatti, Madiyatva Pratipatti. Two aspects are shown here. If we consider that I am the enjoyer, instead of letting Bhagavan being the enjoyer, then that is a hurdle. And then Madiyatva means I am the person who is doing this and this is mine. If we have that thought process, then that is also wrong. So these are the hurdles one may get in the highest stage. One may eliminate Devatantara Bhajanam, Vishayantara Pravanyam, going to other Devatas, engaging in worldly pleasures. All of these may be eliminated. But after coming to Kainkaryam stage, if one thinks that this Kainkaryam is for my satisfaction, then they will fall down from the highest place and then hurt will be more. So at that stage, what should we do? We should pray that this brings pleasure to Bhagavan. Whatever activity, whatever Kainkaryam we do, it should be exclusive pleasure to Bhagavan only. We should not seek any our individual pleasure. Our pleasure will naturally come, but we are not doing for that. Because when Bhagavan is happy, naturally we will be happy. But we are not doing for that. We are not doing for our happiness. It is for Bhagavan's happiness only. So all of these hurdles will be eliminated by Namaha. So here, a final summary, Bhagavan being Shriyapati, being easily approachable, that Narayana, his divine feet are the divine feet are to be considered as the eliminator of one's hurdles and the one who will facilitate the attainment of the goal. For both of that, the means is Bhagavan's lotus feet only. That is elimination of samsaram and reaching Bhagavan. Both of that should happen by Bhagavan's grace only. Now Shriyapati, Sarvaswami, Bhagavan, for that Narayana, I have to eternally do Kainkaryam. Eternal service must be performed by me. And then finally asking that whatever hurdles I get for that Kainkaryam, that should be completely eliminated. So that prayer is present in this Dvaya Mahamantram in the end. So in this manner, Tirumantram, Charama Shlokam and Dvaya Mahamantram, all of these are wonderfully explained by piLLai lOkAchAryar. It's a very gem of a grantham because very simply our Rahasya Trayam is explained by piLLai lOkAchAryar in a very elegant manner, very simple manner. I presented it as best as possible. With this, we will conclude the session today, and we will continue on in the next session with some other Grantham. ஆழ்வார் திருவடிகளே சரணம், எம்பெருமானார் திருவடிகளே சரணம், பிள்ளைலோக்காச்சாரியார் திருவடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு பல்லாயிரத்தாண்டு பல கோடி நூறாயிரம் மல்லாண்டு தின்றோள் மணிவண்ணாவும் சேவடி திருக்காப்படியோம் ஓடும் நோடும் பிரிவின் ஆயிரம் பல்லாண்டு வடிவாய் நின் வளமார் மண்ணில் வாழ்கின்ற மங்கையும் பல்லாண்டு வடிவார் சோதி வளத்துறையும் சிலர் ஆழியும் பல்லாண்டு படைபோர் புக்கும் வழங்கும் அப்பாஞ்ச சன்னியமும் பல்லாண்டே. Okay, we'll see you in the next session.